Hello Tech Sleuths, you're watching Mystery Curtain, your front row seat to cutting-edge reviews. In this episode, we'll peel back the layers of a brand new device to see what. The Google Pixel 10 arrives on the premium smartphone stage, with a mixture of anticipation and skepticism, promising meaningful upgrades, but leaving behind lingering doubts about whether it is truly a flagship leap or simply a cautious step forward. Google has given the Pixel 10 a refreshed spec sheet with the Tensor G5 processor. Built on TSMC's 3nm process, a brighter OLED display, a larger battery, a new 5x telephoto lens, and faster wired charging. On paper, this looks like the formula for a complete flagship package. But the reality is more complicated. The design remains distinctly Pixel, with the iconic visor-style camera bar stretching across the back, now sandwiched by Gorilla Glass Victus 2 panels and an aluminum frame for a solid, premium feel in hand. At 6.3 inches, the display size makes the phone one of the more compact high-end devices available. A welcome feature for users who prefer one-hand usability, while the indigo, frost, lemongrass, and obsidian color options maintain personality without departing from Google's subtle palette. A notable addition is Pixel Snap, Google's branding for Qi 2 magnetic wireless charging, which allows the Pixel 10 to use magnetic accessories. Much like the iPhone's MagSafe ecosystem, audio is powered by a stereo hybrid speaker system that produces warmer, deeper sound than its predecessor. However, design quirks remain unresolved, such as the awkward placement of the power button above the volume rocker, which often causes accidental presses, and the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner that cannot wake the phone from sleep, forcing users to first tap the display before authentication. The Pixel 10 screen is where Google scores a rare clear victory. The 6.3-inch OLED panel pushes a brightness of 1364 nits in manual mode, and up to 2030 nits automatically, outshining nearly all competitors in the segment, and ensuring legibility under direct sunlight. It supports HDR10 and Google's new Ultra HDR format, making content pop with clarity and contrast. The lack of LTPO technology means refresh rates can only shift between 60 Hz and 120 Hz, rather than dynamically scaling lower to save power. But the sheer brightness advantage gives the Pixel 10 a commanding edge in display quality. Performance, however, tells a different story. The Tensor G5 may be Google's most advanced chip yet, but its focus on artificial intelligence over raw horsepower leaves it behind rivals using Qualcomm or Apple Silicon. With a CPU architecture of 1 Cortex-X4 at 3.78 GHz, 5 Cortex-A725 cores at 3.05 GHz, and 2 Cortex-A520 efficiency cores at 2.25 GHz paired with a PowerVR DXT48 1536 GPU, benchmark numbers reveal disappointing results. Geekbench 6 scores fall behind category leaders, and stress testing exposes a serious weakness under prolonged heavy load. The CPU drops to just 28% of peak performance, accompanied by noticeable heating that undermines gaming and multitasking. Storage performance is also inconsistent, as the base 128GB model ships with slower UFS 3.1, while only the 256GB and above variants use UFS 4.0. An unfortunate compromise in a premium phone. The camera system has been reshuffled, and not entirely for the better. While the addition of a 5x telephoto lens should expand versatility, Google cut down the sensor sizes on both the main and ultra-wide cameras compared to the Pixel 9. The main shooter is now a 48 megapixels f1.7 unit with OIS. The ultra-wide is 13 megapixels f2.2 with a narrower field of view, and the telephoto is a 10.8 megapixels f3.1 with OIS. The front-facing camera remains 10.5 megapixels. and continues to deliver some of the best selfies in the industry. In daylight, photos exhibit pleasing color and contrast, but lack fine detail, and zoom shots suffer from noise and softness. Surprisingly, the main sensor can handle close-up macro photography quite well, despite this feature not being advertised. Unfortunately, the 5x telephoto disappoints, with muddy detail, and the ultra-wide underperforms in sharpness and versatility, losing the macro focus ability of the Pixel 9. Night photography, once a Pixel strength, has regressed, with main camera images acceptable, but not flagship level, and telephoto and ultra-wide results being noisy and blurred. Video capture fares somewhat better on the main and ultra-wide at 4K, with good colors and stabilization, but zoomed video looks soft, grainy, and unstable. Software remains the Pixel's saving grace, shipping with Android 16 in its purest form. The Pixel 10 offers Google's latest Material 3 expressive interface and a remarkable 7-year update promise, extending the lifespan of the device far beyond most competitors. Exclusive AI features like Magic Q, which provides contextual information, suggestions, and Gemini Live, which interprets real-time camera context, show off the Tensor G5's intended strengths. Everyday usability is smooth and responsive, even if benchmark charts tell a different story. Battery life, however, is a glaring weakness. Despite an increased 4,970 mAh capacity, endurance lags behind both the Pixel 9 and rival devices, with active use averaging only 9 hours 38 minutes. The 30W wired charging is sluggish, requiring 97 minutes for a full charge, and while 15W wireless charging is supported, the phone has lost the reverse wireless charging feature found on its predecessor. With a starting price of around $799, the Pixel 10 positions itself firmly in flagship territory but fails to consistently justify the tag. It offers undeniable strengths in design, compact ergonomics, unmatched display brightness, and long-term software support, yet struggles with performance, throttling, camera compromises, weak telephoto output, and disappointing battery life. What remains is a phone full of contradictions, one that can delight with software and screen while frustrating with hardware compromises, making it feel less like a confident flagship leap and more like a transitional experiment.